Today we're talking about measurements, units, and tools. And we're talking specifically about both systems of measurement, which is the customary system and the metric system. Our customary system is not based on a particular number. It's pretty random as far as the equivalents for each unit. And so because of that, we use fractions to show parts of a unit. Our metric system, though, is based on the number 10. So since our metric system is based on the number 10, we can use decimals to show parts of a unit with the metric system, because our decimal system is also base 10. So today we're just going to give an overview of both systems and talk about tools and units that belong to each system. So if we talk about the customary system first, tools we might use to measure length would be a ruler, like this. It's about 12 inches, or it is 12 inches. A yardstick, which is 3 feet. A tape measure, which looks something like this that you might use to sew. This one has inches on one side and centimeters on the other. A trundle wheel, which actually looks like this. That's a trundle wheel. Right here, and the trundle wheel is used to measure long distances, like the meters on a football field, or the yards on a football field, or yards to mark out a 50-yard dash. It's used in construction to measure distances across a field or something like that. An odometer also is something that we've used in measuring length with customary. The odometer in your car measures the distance of miles that your car travels. Then also we have measuring cups, measuring spoons, and droppers that we use to measure capacity. This is an example of a dropper. This is a large dropper that you might use for medicine. This one actually came from a pharmacy. It has teaspoons on one side and milliliters on the other side. And then a scale or a pan balance you might also use to measure weight. So then when we look at capacity, as far as capacity with customary, we can look at a couple of keynote units of measure. The fluid ounce is the small, like a small food coloring container, or a bottle cap would be about 1 fluid ounce. A cup is about a teacup. It's a small mug. The buttermilk container for a pint is this buttermilk container right here. So it's like a small milk container or a small juice container. 2 of those, 2 pints make a quart. So this is my quart container, like coffee creamer as an example. It kind of gives you an idea of how big those are and comparing them. And then a milk jug would be a gallon. If we want to measure teaspoon versus tablespoon, about a dinner spoon is a teaspoon, a tablespoon is about a soup spoon, larger than a dinner spoon. Then the length of an inch, this is my ruler. My fingertip to my first knuckle is about 1 inch. A man's foot, like a grown man's foot, is about 1 foot. The width of a door frame is a yard, and a mile is 4 laps around a track. Or a football field track. Then as far as weight, a large glue stick that's full of glue is about 1 ounce. It's a little bit less than an ounce, but it kind of gives you an idea of the weight of 1 ounce. A full loaf of bread is about 1 pound, and a small compact car is about 1 ton. Then in the metric system, we have some of the same tools, except for we would use a meter stick instead of a yardstick, which is 1 meter long, a metric ruler, and then which might have centimeters on the back instead of inches, and then a trundle wheel, again, an odometer that measures kilometers instead of miles, metric measuring spoons and measuring cups, which would measure milliliters and liters as opposed to cups and fluid ounces and tablespoons and teaspoons. Droppers, again, like I said, this dropper that came from the pharmacy, 1 teaspoon is about the same as 5 milliliters. So one reason why we use milliliters for medicine or any kind of liquid in small amounts is because 1 milliliter is pretty tiny compared to 1 teaspoon. And so it can measure smaller amounts more accurately. For a milliliter, it's about the size of a small eyedropper. The big medicine droppers are about 5 milliliters. As far as a liter is about a juice carton, a liter is comparable to a quart. They're not exactly the same, but they're similar. And kiloliters would be like 4 bathtubs. So a kiloliter is pretty big. It's a lot bigger than our gallon, which is the largest customary capacity unit. Then for length, we have a millimeter, which is about the thickness of a dime, a centimeter, which is about the width of your pinky. The doorknob to the floor is about a meter, and a 10 football field is a kilometer. And lastly, for the weight, a milligram is really tiny. It's about a grain of sand, so it hardly feels like anything is in your hand. A gram is actually tiny also. It's about the weight of a paper clip. And then a kilogram is about the weight of a pretty heavy dictionary. So a kilogram is pretty big. But hopefully that gives you an idea of some measurement tools and units that we use for the metric system and the customary system to kind of introduce our measurement unit to us. And the rest of the week we'll talk about metric conversions and customary conversions after that.